Well, what a weekend we've had. It's been a little bit wild. It's been a little bit on the crazy side, let's be honest here. But yeah, we're here. It is, so to speak, Donald Trump's inauguration day. We do have a little bit of a situation. The live markets in the US are not open today, so that could be fun. So yeah, let me know what you think. And hello, welcome to a new week. It's been a bit wild, as I say. Leave a like if you're new. Obviously, subscribe for more live streams. And Bitcoin has done a new all-time high. So I think without further ado, we've got to look at what's been happening. So first things first, Bitcoin has hit a new all-time high at the moment. Currently, right now, as it stands. But there's some new coins that you probably notice in these top trending, which are essentially Donald Trump and his wife. It's a little bit odd. And I can understand why people might be talking, feels a bit toppy. And it does. Feels a little bit odd. But there's also other catalysts. So we're going to go through the news. We're going to go through analysis. Get your questions in. If you're watching the replay, like always, comment. Let me know what you think too. And like everything else, let's just enjoy the ride for now. It's been interesting. So firstly, right, as I've alluded to it, Bitcoin new all-time high. Nothing amazing. It hasn't full on broken it, but we have had a crazy couple of days. Now this is just showcasing the entire week. La 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 la. Oh my god, what's happened here? And then la 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 la. Bit of a weird sort of situation over the course of the last 24 hours. Going over the last month. And if you remember my live stream on Monday, we literally broke down to $90,000, $89,000. And I was sure that we were going to drop lower. I was like, oh, we've lost this level, haven't we? New low. Nope. Caught a bid, went crazy. Obviously, looking over the 3-month period, yeah, looking pretty cool. But the reality is we haven't really smashed all-time high properly. We've got, obviously, this is just updating right now, but we're only just by a little bollock above it. But what it felt like yesterday, especially with the altcoins and absolute craziness of it, that is crypto. That's what it feels like, in my opinion, because we're looking at altcoins and we've seen them create brand new lows on a lot of the Bitcoin pairs. Look ugly. Ethereum, for example, which I will come on to. However, thus been said, I'm really happy with my situation over the course of time, but we need to talk about the obvious here. This section here, it might be the bottom soon. But I do think with altcoins, especially nowadays, I think the meme coin era, the hype era of everywhere else versus, say, the technology of altcoins is not as good as it was. I don't think it is. There's too many altcoins. And we proved that over the weekend. Liquidity went from Donald Trump's coin, no, from altcoins into Donald Trump's coin, from Trump into his wife's coin. I'm probably going to go into his son's coin, whatever else is trying to get created. So it's crazy. But let's talk about the obvious opinion in the room. What is Trump doing? Obviously, yes, he is retweeting them and stuff. And I, for one, it makes me laugh when we look at the cryptocurrency market. And it's funny, isn't it? We talk about like 12 to 15-year innovation of blockchain technology with Bitcoin and the creation of it. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump creates a coin and it's like, it's into the billions in terms of market capitalization. Full dilution volume, full dilution, it's 53.43 billion, 46 billion, Absolute bonkers, isn't it? It's just crazy. So let's talk about the obvious in the room. As you can imagine, this on the days of inauguration is not on my bingo card. Donald Trump token here, whatever you want to know it as. Volume is ridiculous, by the way. I know it says here 2.1 billion. However, let me just show you the real facts in terms of all exchange data. We're at 44 billion. That is a very large amount of volume on multiple markets, multiple exchanges. Crazy. Obviously, yes, his wife's coin. Oopsie. Why are you doing that? Pain in the ass. Here we are. Volume ridiculously high. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Absolute baffling. But what's mad is that they're launching on Coinbase, Binance, Robinhood. We all know exchanges just want to make money. I know that. It's kind of obvious. This is why I'm very bullish on runes, because once one rune goes on them, they're all going to fly and take off like a rocket with the hype of Bitcoin ecosystem, right? But the reality is we're not there yet. This is just wild. So, all in all, it feels like absolute craziness. It really does. And I would love to know your opinion. So, obviously, get some questions. I'll answer them at the end. But let's talk about overall performance. We are smashing currently Q1 expectations, in my opinion, so far, in terms of January. January, pretty damn good, right? Talk about this a lot on my Patreon. I wasn't expecting much in January. I thought too much speculation, too much kind of musical chairs in the political landscape, thinking, we may not pump. So happens, just release a meme coin, off we go, right? Very, very odd. And it kind of caught a lot of us off guard. In terms of overall price analysis of where we are in terms of price performance, we are getting towards that little mania stage of Bitcoin ramping. We're at all-time high, break above that, and a clear conviction of a break above that. We look very, very interesting. When we talk about the other side of the coin, and sorry for Ethereum holders, we need to talk about you because this is disappointing, right? And I know I don't hold any Ethereum. I don't really have any allegiance to either or. But the reality is here, I was expecting, but I think everyone was expecting better. Now the question is, why has it been so bad? Is it because of base? Is it because of Solana? Is it because the fees have changed? Is it just because people are not interested anymore? It's absolutely wild. But again, we talk about this. The BTC pair of Ethereum hit a brand new low. What? And then we're talking about political change. Well, I wouldn't say political, like changes in the foundation for like organization for some key personnel, bringing in some new talent and moving stuff around. It's like, it's very, very interesting. So, yeah, Ethereum is a very, very odd one in terms of that situation. And likewise, with the ETF volume over the last few days, been pretty good. The Ethereum ETF still marginally getting any sort of press or coverage. It's wild. So, where are we in terms of the market? Obviously, BTC pairs look crazy. BTC alone, here we are. We have just nibbled the bollock off this little high here from the previous all-time high. And it's interesting to note that we've pulled back into this level and we've tested it a number of times, by the way, over the course of before the all-time high in terms of a little random thing in terms of history, as in this was the top, pulled back into it, acted as level support. That was kind of the first bedding in of that area. It then became apparent that it was going to come to 382, and it got tested 1, 2, 3, 4. This was on my live stream on Monday, if you remember it. Oh, we've lost it. We just looked it at the time, and then boom, bang, off we go, right? Follow through into potential new all-time highs, and that could lead the market into some new price discovery areas. And yes, sorry, altcoins, but you have not caught up and you have not done anything. We are now at 59%, right? If you remove XRP out of it and XLM and their little pumps that they've had, we probably would have been way higher than the 61.5%, which we hit in terms of November, personally, because realistically, XRP's done fantastic, XLM's done fantastic, and XRP, as you can imagine, is now 5.23% of the market. When we were making those sort of highs in and around, it was at 1%. So do the maths, it's kind of obvious, really. What is interesting though, the total 3/BTC is still lagging a little bit and not really got that clear conviction. I was expecting over the course of the last few weeks we'd start making our moves up, but we haven't. We've kind of faltered at every turn, which is really irritating. Stable currency dominance, I mentioned this in my tweet this morning. We could be making new lows. What is this significant? The significant element of this is the lower this is, better it is, because more money's in the market technically, less in terms of stables and more into altcoins and shitcoins. BTC and Ethereum dominance look chalk and cheese right now. You can see it. This is Ethereum.D. We are down at 11.2%, which is baffling. So if you remember like a year ago or so, maybe even 18 months ago, I was saying I don't think Bitcoin will reach 60% Bitcoin dominance. I think Ethereum's too strong. I think Solana's strong as well, and other things are quite good. But at the time, I was saying that because Ethereum was around 20% of the market. It's literally halved. It's like halved its dominance, which is absolutely baffling. And in that time frame, a lot of things have just outperformed it massively, massively. So when we talk about Bitcoin dominance, well, what we tend to get, and we've had this in previous cycles, a big spike to the upside, and then we have an altcoin capitulation, and then going into a big, massive aggressive. We might be at that point now, right? It doesn't look as clear cut because, as I say, XRP's done fantastic, XLM's done fantastic recently, Hydra Hashgraph and a couple of others with those regulation side of coins, not to mention other metrics, which is kind of making this a bit more skewy. However, realistically, as I say, remove those and you probably are much higher. But the BTC pairs don't lie. A lot of them are making new lows, which is a bit ugly. In terms of the total market cap, and as I've alluded to before in previous videos, we're probably going to create a new high very, very soon just due to the overall effect of it. So maybe 4 trillion might be the absolute level, which is crazy. Why am I not sharing my screen? Oh, for some reason, why has that gone weird? That's gone very weird. I do apologize. Are we going to work? Nope. So yeah, sorry. Just another whole live stream without even sharing my screen. I don't know why that did that. But yeah, anyways, moving on. I appreciate the absolute craziness and the money for that. Cheers. Anyways, moving back. Sorry, where were we? So yeah, I'll talk about the dominant side of it. This is where we are. We're absolutely mad. I've been doing that entire live stream without any of my screen shared. And even though when I look at my top right hand corner on my Mac, it's actually showing my screen moving between different things. Yet on OBS, it went, nah, we are not doing it. I don't want to do it. Silly thing. But anyways, right. So where was I? I'll show you some of the key charts, what I mentioned before. This is Ethereum.d. As you can imagine, right? It's not looking great. Just a constant downtrend. It's not even looking at certain things. It's just, you might as well just leave it like that and it looks absolutely hideous. The reality is, though, this is going to probably make new highs now in terms of the total market cap, potentially. Iffy, I know, because of new tokens coming in and the increased value. Bitcoin dominance, summarization of it again, probably going to break up higher. But when you remove XRP, which is XRP.D, this has done fantastic. So we probably already are at a perceived all-time high in terms of dominance, in terms of that situation, versus pretty much 99 million of other altcoins, which we have seen do new lows. Even the likes of, Cardano has done fantastic over the last period, but it's struggling to break up higher in terms of dominance. There's nothing amazing here. It's just the way it is. We haven't had that follow through yet. Solana, though, has bounced quite significantly, which is interesting. Anyways, let's go into the analysis side of it. Why not? Feel free to let us know what you guys think as normal. But yeah, it's just annoying how I've literally been talking and nothing was even shown. By the way, this is the Donald Trump coin, if you're interested. When his wife's coin came out, that happened, and now we're going back up again. Mad. With regards to this coin, there we are. And I mentioned before the volume, they're like massive, like the 45 billion volume across centralized exchanges. Well, exchanges have got a little bit greedy here, I think. That's the interesting point, and I mentioned it just then. The fact that these are listing it is mad. Madness. Absolute craziness that is. So yeah, follow through into potential alt season could be coming here because liquidity coming from those assets and people hopefully making some money. Probably not. People are degenerate gamblers. It might well spark some life into the market, but you can see there's a lot of things doing well. Obviously, XRP, new all-time high. I think XRP alone could be a potential catalyst realistically in terms of getting people into the market. People are always interested in stuff like this. Meme coins as well, especially. But yeah, the market's just a bit wild at the minute. Honestly, I didn't have, as I mentioned before, have any of this on my bingo card at all. I just didn't. I don't think anyone did. Let's be honest here. So it's all looking very, very interesting. But yeah, it's just, let me know your thoughts. If you think if this is going to be a genuine kind of thing in terms of, are we going to get a follow through? Is it going to change things? Are we going to get a new and perceived all-time high in terms of everything else? I don't know. We'll see. How to buy Elite give over. Yeah, let's not talk about Wizard because I think people got PTSD of runes. Let's have a look at runes actually because I think it's very, very interesting. Runes are like the one that a lot of liquidity got taken out of very, very. I think people FOMO'd out of like assets into like trying to get involved in the pumps, which I think is very dangerous. I do. I often get told I'm a bit of a killjoy sometimes, but when we talk about like how crypto was last, this is obviously going back to screen shares that I didn't show before. This is kind of what it looked like in terms of the market last night, literally like, or not so much last night, but on the 18th, especially. I know I did this on the 19th, but like you looked at the market and you went, "Oh, sweet, Donald Trump's just released a meme coin, cool." And then you looked at your altcoins, and you're like, "What's happened? Where where have they gone? Where's my money gone?" And a lot of people were in meme coins. I think it was Fart Coin went wild and it died, and then something else, and there was other ones. I mean, I should have a look really. Where is where I don't even know how to use Dex screen. Fart Coin, please give me a Fart Coin. Is it that one? Presume it is. So yeah, you could just see like the random craziness of it and the pullbacks. There you go. So Fartcoin was like absolutely flying up to the moon, and then all of a sudden it had this big, massive dip, and then off it goes again. And it's like, oh, off we go. And then obviously, guess what happened? What did we release? We released something, and it pulled back again. A lot of liquidity went out, and even though that doesn't look as crazy, it actually is quite a big move. You know, we're going from $2.80, around 2060, all the way down to like stupid level 196, then probably going to go higher again. Oh, it's absolutely wild. And as I said before, like the innovation of like 12, 15 years of like Bitcoin innovation, Ethereum, and all these kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, you got meme coin season like this, and it's like, wow, cool, great, amazing. We're all going to get absolutely munched by market makers and snipe bots and everything else that goes in between, which could be very, very interesting to see where we go. Remember the flipping in. It's like 2017 again. We're gonna go back to XRP flipping Ethereum. Crazy. You're saying exactly how I feel. I've been in the last couple of cycles. Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it? Feels like the same old rotation, capital moving around, all that kind of stuff. I think what's interesting about this cycle is it feels more crazy. It feels more, yeah, like the meme coin cycle is really wild, but we'll see how it goes. Am I planning to take any profit into take BTC profits in next coming week? It depends where it goes. It really does. I mean, I've already mentioned it before. You know, the base case of anything is the right side of the market. I I've got this box that says scale out. Don't get me wrong. I probably will take a little bit off the table when we get around here, but I'll still be looking at the market and thinking what's happening. If I'm doing live streams and I'm seeing the traffic increase, if I'm seeing comments increase, if I'm seeing members join Learning Crypto or Patreon, there's little things above if you want to get a reminder, links below in the comments. And the hype's coming, I probably won't be as aggressive. But if I start seeing really obvious top signals, like, you know, the obvious, ranked number one on Coinbase and all that kind of stuff, and what's been listed on Robinhood, and it goes a bit mental, you know, that's where you start being a little bit more aggressive with it, when you start seeing genuine top signals. The thing is, it's hard to kind of quantify, and I often say about timing is key. But one of the big things about timing is return of investment. What is your return of investment? If you bought low and you're taking profit, it doesn't matter because everyone's different, right? People are playing with more money. People have different time frames. People have different risk profiles. But more importantly, people have probably bought better than you and maybe taken profit. So with Bitcoin, it's a very iffy one. But I will always keep some Bitcoin and then I will sell Bitcoin to hopefully rebuy back low in the bear market, whenever that may be. Because there's always market cycles, right? There's always market cycles. Same with runes, buy low, sell high, flipping for Bitcoin, whatever, grow my Bitcoin bag. Problem we have is we don't have much time in terms of like, where do altcoins go? What is the situation around altcoin growth? Is it going to be minimal? Is it going to be narrative based, as in, you know, for example, BTC runes, for example, or is it going to be, you know, look at certain things around layer ones? Is DeFi protocols going to fly off? Metaverse, is that going to come back? We just don't know, right? We just don't know. Obviously, we've had AI agents, we've had other bits and pieces. Now, as I said, we have got the political landscape meme coin season, if that's ever a thing, where things like this are going mental. And now we're going to go through the entire family tree of Donald Trump until people get either lots of money or get completely and utterly destroyed, which either or, realistically, when you think about it. So it's very, very interesting to see where we go from here. What was interesting over the course of last week was the fact that Litecoin was doing well. You know, Dogecoin was doing pretty well. Obviously, XRP was doing pretty well. Obviously, Litecoin has some crazy moves in it in the past, and it always does lead sometimes in the market, weirdly. It does randomly lead. And we saw that in the course of obviously November time all the way up. That's a big run, by the way. And then we started running again. But that's just the way it is. It's just the markets always do that. It's still down massively in the BTC pair, but ultimately, you know, when the dino coins, so to speak, come back to life, it gets people talking, and people tend to return back to the market in that situation, which is very, very interesting. Also, guys, like the video. There's only 25 people liking it. I know I completely cocked up this video, so this replay is gonna be great fun, by the way. It's like people be like commenting, going, oh well. What else we talk about? Dog on chain volume is increasing. Yeah, I've noticed a couple of little changes on the dog volume. I mean, for on chain. That's in on chain, and as crap as it is at the minute, that is pretty decent. Like we were like buzzing for $1 million volume on chain, lol, when it was pretty hyped up a couple of months back. So yeah, it's pretty damn decent in my opinion. What other questions do we have? Maybe it's me, but I'm starting to feel more risk and FOMO. Yeah, I think it's hard to quantify in terms of when does it blow up. So, like, when does the bubble pop, right? I think for me, right, this is me talking. It's harder for me because I've been in for such a long time, and my profit that I had in the market went back in at the lows, and I've made good money. I'm sitting on a much better money, right? And I don't want to sound arrogant, but I'm looking at my portfolio thinking, right, the mania in terms of altcoins, and we've never had that big alt season yet, and we've never had a real big blow off yet. And I'm looking at my portfolio thinking, ooh, I don't want to sell my bags too early. That's my biggest thing. And I think everyone's in the same boat. And I think a lot of people may resonate in your comment. You're at the point where it feels risky, it feels like FOMO, and it feels like the end. But also, when we look through history, and hold on, you'll see on the screen when I show you, when we look on the screen at like their performance, and I showed this before and you probably didn't see it, we're at this stage where we're going to get this potential run and mania stage. We don't want to yeet our bags too early, right? We don't, right? Yeah, we're at all-time high. It sounds mad, but previous cycles we've done much, much higher returns. Altcoins have not run yet. Whether they run or not, I don't know. Obviously, as you know, there's little niche elements as well. There's obviously Bitcoin miners to consider. There's also meme coins, Bitcoin ecosystem growth, and certain developments there. You've obviously got altcoin development and potential regulation. There's so many different factors and facets here, and we're like looking at our portfolio, going, "Oh God!" But I think it's just a time thing. It's like the longer you're in the market, the more you're kind of aware of things, and you start seeing the little sell triggers. And you don't want to buy the dip that keeps on dipping, but you also want to make sure that you're buying something because you know that eventually it's going to pop off. Like who would have thought that like $89,000 from the correctional high of 108 was going to be the bottom, and now we're at all time high. I didn't think that last week when you watched my live stream. I thought we were done. I thought we were going to go down to $85,000. We're going to reset there and consolidate, and then go after inauguration. But equally, tonight we might be back down at 100K again because we've sold the news that the event has happened. So it's fascinating. It really is, and it's all human emotion. And there's so many things here that could be crazy. But alt season for me is like, when are the people going to return? I don't know. No one knows. There's certain things that could bring people back very, very easily. But they may look at their altcoins and go, I'm not buying that. Why would I want to buy that? It's not high enough. Weirdly, I know I've just said that, but people look at altcoins in the past and they'll only buy the big green candles. They'll buy the big green candles, but none of them have done anything like that. Obviously, XRP has. Solana's looking pretty good. There's the obvious ones, but hey, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It just feels like memes are the only thing that they'll run, and yeah, I think meme coins could bring people to the market again. We've had that right at the start of 2024, that random craziness that we had. And then obviously the end of the year, we had that random little craziness. But it didn't really bring enough people in. It brought some people back, but nothing crazy. You got to look at like YouTube subscribers, the view rate, all the people returning. There will be people that will return. I've got 70 odd thousand subscribers. There's only like so many people that watch my videos now, but when like it went crazy in 2024, I got a lot of those people that came back. Went, oh, hello. So there's always that kind of situation where they will, but we'll see how it goes in terms of that. What else? Things go higher than people are expecting. They go down lower than most people. Yeah, Elite spot on, and you do get it. Like I remember in the last cycle, I bought Cardano at like $3, 3 cents. Sorry, I bought at 3 cents. So I was in just after the ICO in 2017. I made some money, and I thought I like that. I'll rebuy that. It went down to 3 cents. I sold it at like $1.60 something. It was like massive run. I went up to $3. And like sometimes you just don't think it's going to go higher than you anticipate. Same with meme coins, they go higher than you think, and it's like, oh, I wish I held that. You look like an idiot, don't you? But it's just the way it is. It's just you've got to think return of investment at the end of the day. Don't chase things. Just think of the obvious, but it's hard. What do you think about the correlation between LTC chart and the vet chart on the weekly? If you're talking about dino coins that do well, both Litecoin, if you are talking Litecoin, some people say LTC a left translated cycle now, it confuses the living shit out of me. And obviously, where's it? VeChain. You always get, it's weird how these move like so aggressively every time. And like VeChain is a one from previous cycles. It always has big aggressive moves. Look at that level there. I don't even know where that's going to. There you go, TP area. So like with this, I had like an exit plan for like some of my members on my Patreon. There's a link below if you're interested in like I don't do them anymore because it's a bit too speculative. But that would have been if you bought the lows and you were looking at an area, you could have gotten out of there. Like not like all of it, but ultimately you got to look at the bigger picture. Look at VeChain, right? I don't think we're going to go back up to these levels unless something really mental happens. But the BTC pairs have been smashed. But the reality is here, a lot of these, like they're making massive returns at the minute, but they could also fly right the way up. You just don't know where they're going to go. And look at the past cycle. Look at that. Absolute baffling at how far that flew. Litecoin was exactly the same. If you look back in history, bear with me, you can see like how things just go bananas. They do. So as much as I dislike altcoins' performance at the minute, the problem we have in terms of this cycle versus the last cycle was very different, right? You can see that we had a bit more of a run, especially with like Litecoin, for example, right? But the size of the consolidation, the lack of gains, the lack of kind of conviction in a swing has been so poor. It's like it's kind of giving you that fatigue, and that fatigue is going to eventually grind you down. You're going to start having that opinion. But when you look at, say, the BTC pairs on a lot of assets, look at Chainlink, for example, you're looking at certain levels. They may well fly up. If Bitcoin does well, you may well get some returns there. Depends on what you pick, though. There's millions of altcoins now versus what there was back in the day, for example. So that's where the big problem lies. Liquidity too thin, too many altcoins. We've seen that. Donald Trump brought out a coin, zip. Oh, where did that all go? Shit. That's where the problem lies. So stuff like that, we have to be wary of. And as well, like some people just say, like we're promising these huge gains, and I often get laughed at. I get laughed at when I say about, oh, just settle for like a 3, 4, 5x. But then I think to myself, well, if you're new and you're playing with small capital, you want to see the 100x's. You want me to tell you what you want to hear or whatever it may be. And that's where it gets quite hard, especially as a content creator. And I'm like, for argument's sake, if you've been around for a while, you'll know. If you bought Bitcoin 6 years ago, you're not looking for a 10x on your Bitcoin right now, are you? No, are you buggery? You're like 2x and you're probably pretty damn sweet because you've already got those multiples in your pocket. It's wild. Actually, in your opinion, is Solana Ethereum to Ethereum, not from an investment point of view? I think it massively is. I think it's faster. It's obviously cheaper, but it connects to better things and it's more usable. Ethereum is still not the greatest to use. You use MetaMask for just purely Ethereum. It's like, what is this? And Phantom Wallet, for example, brilliant. Radium is way better than Uniswap, in my opinion. Anyways, that's just my opinion. But I feel like Ethereum is just nowhere near what it was. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But obviously Solana crashed a little bit yesterday. But I think Phantom had 8 million requests per second or per minute or whatever the stat was. Probably a record. So it's fair enough, really, isn't it? Don't mind it crash when it's like that. My dad is retired and he finally asked me about crypto and he said he was looking at Litecoin because it's on PayPal. That tells you how these coins can still 100%. Look at what Robinhood, for example, Robinhood and um, exchanges like that. Look at what they release and look what they talk about. In the prior cycle, they put out weirdly Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic did very well in the last cycle. Most people thought it was Ethereum. People buy it. It's just the way it is. You know, exchange volume, the norm is maybe Revolut could be an interesting one. See what's listed on there as well, because that's another one. You know, easy access for people to buy. It's simple, it's effective, it works, and people will look at them and go, "Well, Litecoin's only 127 bucks. I'll buy that." Or they'll look at Ethereum and go, "Oh, I'll buy that." You know, it's just the way. That's the thing. You need to learn more about the market in itself to become a better investor in Bitcoin. Obviously, anyone can go and open up a Stripe account on the App Store, dollar cost average via their bank into Bitcoin. They've got Lightning Network enabled on there, and they can go right back into their bank. It's all FCA approved and all that kind of good stuff, right? That's not a shill. That's just an obvious. Same with Swissborg. Same with Kraken. You can do that on most exchanges, but obviously, the more exchanges you go down, the more the rabbit lights you're going to get and the more the meme coins. So now, as I alluded to it, Kraken, Robinhood, Coinbase, everywhere has listed Trump. You don't want, someone in retirement age buying meme coins. No offense to anyone in retirement age, but you should be looking for something more stable. But it is a young person's game, crypto, realistically, which is the funniest thing about it. But we'll see how things go with it all. What else have we got in the chat? I think Bitcoin has another 50%. There's no way knowing which altcoins do a 5 to 10x. I'm hoping. Yeah, I agree. I think if we, I mean, I said in the last stream, 300k, I'd be unbelievably biased in terms of like the sell pressure on my side will be huge. But we could blast from there up even higher, potentially, right? We could. And as much as this market news is amazing, going to say 200k from here, it's 100%. Well, it's not. It's about 80 now, 85, 90% gain. That doesn't look too doesn't look too crazy in my viewpoint anyways. But for other people, you're probably going to be like looking to get 3 or 4x because you bought much later. It just depends on where you are. That's the thing. That's where it's scary for a lot of people. But yeah, I am a lot more heavier in Bitcoin this cycle. I've got a bigger play in runes, and I think if they do like what they did in September to November, I could make a decent chunk of Bitcoin, and then that will hopefully be the one. But we'll see how it goes. XRP and Ondo, am I crazy on my leverage trades? Huge runs, haven't they? Both of them. I mean, I think Ondo's done some random news and has popped a bit of volatility there. 80% BTC, heavy portfolio. The rest is a big cap up. Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it? I think if you've held Bitcoin for a while, you're quite happy with having a heavy BTC stash. Now, for me, I'm very much attached to my Bitcoin. I don't really want to sell them for altcoins now. I know, like, obviously that goes against my strategy a little bit, but I just don't want to risk it because I've already made the money. It's weird. Obviously, I can split it up and do other bits, but you are guessing a little bit in terms of where the money could go. And in terms of bear market strategies for the next bear market, you could be looking at BTC, you could be looking at Solana, and maybe that's about it. Or maybe something around the BTC ecosystem for a hold. That would be the main three that I would look at. But that's it. Like, would you be confident in putting your money into Ethereum in the next bear cycle? Not after this Altseason with somewhat perceiving to be having. It's absolutely madness when you think how different this cycle is for altcoins. Bitcoin, great. Meme coins, didn't expect it. And here we are. It's just wild, isn't it? Do you reckon DOT will go past $55 or 55? Well, if it's $55, no, 100% not. The thing with DOT is, and I know people are like, oh, you're picking on DOT. DOT's got a long way to go. It's $6 here, right? $6.65, right? And Bitcoin's $108, right? The gravity of that is already mad, considering that was $55 and this was $60,000 at the time, right? This is what the BTC pair looks like. It's the worst performing one by far. It's unbelievable. Considering there's been 18% inflation for like 3 of those years, it's just been bleeding out and there's just no interest. And yeah, it might do well, but for that to kind of reclaim, let's talk about this in simple maths, right? if Bitcoin stays still, you know, you're looking at $55. You're looking at least, oh God, it's got to do at least a 5x in the BTC pair alone. And that's not factoring in the fact that Bitcoin might move forward. So if we're talking about where this has to go to, at least, I think it has to be up here at least. It is nearly the 5,000 sats. It got to be, or 7 or 8x at least. 6 times 8, we kind of get near enough to it. But I find that impossible. I find that impossible. That might bite me in the ass, and if it does happen, absolute fair play, and they've pulled a massive rabbit out of the hat. But I think in terms of value, it's so down. It's gonna be tech's undoing unless Bitcoin goes to $500,000. It's different. You've probably lost even more money. But that's the thing. That the only reason where I see the big boys come back in terms of altcoins is if Bitcoin really flies and the perceived value of the USD prices go to the moon. And it's like, oh shit, cool. Oh, I better jump back in now. And then it sends it a little bit higher. Sorry to ask, but Nia is very disappointing last year. What are your thoughts? I sold my Nia. So I was in Nia very early. 2023, when it got to them lows at like $1, just above $1 and like 3,000 sats, I bought a load and I was selling at like 12,000 Satoshis, 11,000 Satoshis. And I got like 40% of my position out. I was very, very happy. And I sold it into Bitcoin, held in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin did very well over that year. So it for me, it performed well. I've recently sold my Nia and I put it into runes pretty much. Like my Nia bag that I had, which was in profit still from that time, at 6,000 sats pretty much, I got rid of it and I put it into runes. So I'm hoping them runes now, fingers crossed, not doing very well at the minute, will provide me some gains. But in terms of the overall thing about Nia, it's probably competition that's good. And like you see here, like I was buying all the way across this sort of time period. I was unbelievably buzzing with some of my orders, and I did. It was one of the best ones I had in terms of that cycle versus some of the others. But I did take a lot of profit at these, and they're all in the journal on my Patreon if you're interested. But you know, I was disappointed in terms of how it just didn't carry on. I know obviously AI narratives in the little season, but I'm glad I took a decent chunk off the table. But luckily, when I did that, obviously Bitcoin went higher, so the USD value of those BTC pairs, BTC that I had from those pair cells did all right. But yeah, I'm glad I took some money out and put it into runes, even though runes are not doing great at the minute. There's a lot more upside on runes versus say this, in my opinion. Anyways, I think this will probably struggle to do a 3-4x from here now, in my opinion, on the BTC pair. But it's still, I still like it. Don't get me wrong, but I think we're looking at certain things. It's like, yeah, cool, but they're not really like going to. I don't think they're going to change your life. So as I said before, like this tweet here, bear with me. Which tweet was it? Yeah, this one. I know you probably didn't see this at the start of the video either. Um, Me talking about the fact that I'm happy to be heavy in BTC and you know altcoins to keep making new lows. There's too many of them. The liquidity has just been drained into the meme coins, and it's right. But also, it might well be the bottom soon. And I think we're getting towards that sort of crunch point where things have got to start turning around. Let's be honest, they do have to start turning around. If they don't start turning around, well, we're going to be questioning a lot of things, and people probably won't be wanting to move from, say, you know, Bitcoin into altcoins. Um, Suey will be the winner of the cycle. Yeah, it's a good asset. Good asset. Can we just clap for Ray? It's yeah, I wish I invested in Ray. I wish I invested in Jupiter as well. But I've put my hand to the sword and went right. I'm going to invest in Magic Eden. I think Magic Eden is a marketplace will be very very interesting. So we'll see how things go. Um, Other than that, that's about it really. So yeah, I do apologise for the start of the video being a bit mad, the live stream in terms of my screen share not hooked up for some weird reason. Even though I literally did a video before I came on live for learning crypto and it was working absolutely fine. And then for some reason it just didn't. Silly thing. But yeah, appreciate everyone coming out. Appreciate the super chat to try and get my attention, even though it probably didn't work very well. I'll be back tomorrow. So I'll be doing daily live streams. Obviously, if you want to watch these, subscribe, notification bell, make sure you see it and leave a like. It's massively appreciated. And hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the mania season pretty much starting out.